Okay.
I'm gonna pump like 2 points into her.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say to the thing in deep speech, "What are you?"
All right. So, you lay on hands on her.
Mm-hmm.
You see the wound kind of slowly close itself up, just enough that she's no longer bleeding profusely. And you turn to the creature and you direct your message towards it. It doesn't seem to understand you, and continues to it just continues to flail. It's now its turn, and it's still under the effect of your what's it called?
Channel divinity.
Channel divinity. So it's going to try and flee. So you watch as it hits the ground after being stabbed and slithers into another room under a door.
God. All right.
That's the end of its turn. It's now the guard's turn. He's going to kind of turn to you and say, What the hell is that thing?
I don't know what it is, but you need to go get it.
He goes, yeah. And he runs to the door and he kicks it open. And he enters
there.
He enters the room and the room is dark and he's like, I don't see anything. But that's his turn. His action was to kick open the door. But it is now your turn.
I'm going to run into the room. So I have blind sight up to 10 feet. I'm going to run into the room and close my eyes.
Okay.
Am I sensing anything?
You have blind sight?
Yeah, I have blind sight for 10 feet.
All right. As you kind of close your eyes and focus in, you hear this slurping and slithering sound coming from underneath a cabinet.
Marvelous. All right. I unsheath my sword.
All right.
And I'm going to just stab. I'm going to wrathful smite and stab where I hear the slurping sound coming from.
Okay, attack.
Yes. All right, that is a 22.
That'll hit. Roll damage.
All right. That is a 5. That is a 5 plus. That is an 8. So it is a 5. It's 5 magical flashing and then 3 psychic damage.
All right, so you take your blade and you jam it through the cabinet and you hear this little noise as you feel on the end of your blade something squirming before it just goes limp. And as you peek under, you see this small tadpole-like creature just lying dead as blood begins to pour out of it.
All right. It's on my sword, isn't it?
Yeah, it's stuck to the edge of your sword.
All right. I'm going to pull it out. Look at it. The hell is this thing?
As you examine it, it's about the size of like a puppy. Not too big, but not too small. It's got no arms, no legs. It's just a serpentine body. But it has little nubs, like maybe where legs would eventually sprout from.
Disgusting. I'll do an Arcana check. Do I recognize this?
Make an Arcana check.
Ooh, natural 20 for a total of 24.
All right. Through some old research you have done in the past and just flipping through books, you recall to a species of creatures that are quite feared in the land known as sloths.
Oh, the frog things?
Yes. You know from what little research you've done that sloths reproduce through tadpoles.
They're from the they're from Limbo. Yeah. They're frog things. That's what I thought this was. With the whole chest bursting and the tadpoles.
Now, what's odd is these people would have had to be attacked by sloths to become impregnated by them. But the people never said that they were attacked or anything like that. So it is a little odd to see a sladpole.
A sladpole, yeah.
A sladpole. A slad tadpole.
It's canon.
Something. It obviously came from something, but you would have to do more digging to figure out what.
Ma'am, did you... I mean, no disrespect. Did you drink or eat anything odd?
She kind of is...
Before the chest pain started.
She kind of posted up in a chair now, just gripping her chest. As you can see, the blood is still kind of lightly flowing from her back wound. The guard has begun reaching into his pack and frantically pulling out bandages, and it just starts bandaging her up. And she goes...
Actually, I'll ask, are you okay? Do you need any other assistance medically? Are you okay?
She kind of raises her hand and says, I'll go see the doctor in a bit, but what was that thing that just came out of me?
It was a parasite of sorts, and it's dead now. But this was the cause, I'm pretty sure. This was the cause of your chest pains. In that regard, before the chest pains started, did you drink or eat anything? Or were you attacked by anything that you can think of that would have done this?
She goes, I've just been eating the food I get from the market, and I haven't been attacked by anything as far as I know. Because that thing was inside me?
It's best if you don't think about it.
And you're just kind of, you're holding it like a fish you caught in a river.
Yeah. I have it on my sword still. Just kind of like, it's best if you don't think about it.
It's quite large, but she's just, you can see she's just kind of staring at it in like disgust. All the guard is kind of like just wide-eyed, like, what's going on? What have I gotten myself into?
Mm-hmm.
She goes,
I'm going to go take a look at the market.
All right.
Yeah.
The guard says, I'm going to take her to the doctor.
Yeah, that would probably be for the best. Inform the doctor of what we found here today.
Should we go to other people who have been having chest pains?
Are there more?
Well, I don't know. That's up to... Who knows if people are going to the doctor or not?
Ma'am, I have a question. Did you go to the doctor for something else, and then once you left, that's when the chest pain started?
Let me see. She goes, to be honest, I can't recall.
She goes, no recollection of what happened.
She goes, oh shit. She goes, I went to the doctor's, but I can't remember if I was having chest pains before or after.
Good to know. Guard, stay here with her. Make sure she's up to snuff. I'm going to go talk to the doctor.
He goes, well, shouldn't I take her to the doctor if she needs medical attention?
I'll come back and tell you whether or not you should take her to the doctor.
He goes, all
These
right.
things don't just show up in people. They have to be put there.
All right. Do what you will. And he helps the woman out because she goes, just take me to my bed so I can lay down. And he begins to ascend the staircase with her.
All right. I'm going to go to the doctor. I'm going to take the thing off of my sword, sheath my sword, and my sword is sentient. It's a kunai. I'm going to say to my sword, so, how are we feeling today, Kenai?
You hear this slight laugh and says, it's been an interesting day so far, quite different than the monotonous desert walk you've been putting me through.
Well, I mean, you haven't been the one having to do the trekking. You've been staying nice and comfortable in your sheath.
Yes, but it's rather boring.
Well, hopefully, the boringness, well, isn't that the duality of a sword? You would hope to live a boring life, but if you have an interesting life, that isn't necessarily a good thing.
You hear kind of a defeated sigh and say, just let's hope we find more of these things.
Yes, hopefully. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have the thing kind of like, I'm gonna put it. I have some holy water on me. I'm just gonna kind of just pour a little bit of my holy water onto the thing. Does it burn or?
Let me look.
Holy water effects. It only affects fiends and undead. So.
All right, so it has no effect.
All right.
You just pour some water and it just slips off it just slicks off the body and onto the sand.
All right. I'll keep it like in my sleeve, kind of like holding it, but like where people can't initially see it, kind of like under my cloak, and make my way back to the doctor.
All right.
Open the door and just walk inside. I'm not even asking to walk in.
You see him sitting with the man. The man's shirt is off, and the doctor's got his stethoscope up against his chest, and he kind of stops and sees you and say, "I'm with a patient."
I'm aware of that at the moment. You wouldn't happen to be having chest pains now, would you?
The guy goes, "No, just some stomach problems."
Stomach problems, like stomach aches.
You see, he kind of looks down and says, "Sort of."
Sort of.
And he goes, I haven't gone to the bathroom in like 3 days. I'm just a little concerned.
Okay.
And the doctor kind of says, "Now, why did you barge in here? What's going on?"
I'm going to throw the thing onto the ground.
The shirtless guy kind of lets out like this girly scream. And the doctor just kind of adjusts his glasses and says, What in the world is this?" And as he does, the guy...
This is the chest pains.
And the doctor kind of like picks it up and fumbles with it because it's still a little slippery. And he puts it on his table as the shirtless man redresses and immediately exits the room.
This is the chest pains people have been feeling.
He goes, "Can you elaborate?" as he begins to poke it with his stethoscope.
It's a slod tadpole. It was put there by something.
He goes, "I'm familiar with slods. I've done my research in the past. It's a boring town. You find things to do. But..."
Oh. You don't say.
But he kind of looks it over and says, "But from my research, they typically have to be implanted by another slod."
You wouldn't know anything about that now, would you?
He kind of says, "Just what I've read."
I'm gonna insight check him. Does he look like, shit, the goose is gone?
Make an insight check.
Oh, yeah, that's a 7.
A 7.
I have a passive insight of 13. Does that help?
You can use the passive insight.
Okay.
He looks shocked, to say the least. He doesn't look like he's being dishonest.
Okay. Any particular... You've done some research on these things. I know them, but... Do you know of any, Where would people in this town come in contact with something like this? Was there an event? Did something happen? Was there an odd occurrence? And then after said odd occurrence, now these sloths have been showing up. The chest pains is one happening, and the people dying.
He goes, "Anything special? Well, the market recently opened. For the most part, people have been eating their food from a general store. But...
And now the market's just sprung up overnight."
It did spring up about a few weeks ago, just kind of overnight. Some local farmers, and by farmers I use that term loosely since you can't really grow anything out here,